What a difference a day makes. The video that you're going to see starts where I was 24 hours ago, discouraged, teary, and ends where I am today. Much different. Good morning, love. If you have days that feel pretty lousy and you just are unsure of yourself and really discouraged and wish that it was better, please stick around till the end of this video so you'll see that sometimes it's big things that make a difference and sometimes it's little things. Around here, it's often the little things. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to tell you a story today that I don't like telling, and yet I feel like I need to and ought to tell it. If not only for me, hopefully for you as well, that you will gain something from it, because I feel like this story is a cliff story, like this book talks about, Jim Collins' What to Make of a Life. It's a cliff story in my life. And unfortunately, this cliff just keeps on cliffing, keeps on giving. And as I am one who likes to talk about joyful aging, being joyful during retirement age and empty nest, sometimes it's challenging to talk about joy when the cliff keeps pushing you, or rather, you keep getting pushed off the same cliff. Those cliff nudges are not fun. So I'm going to tell the story. As we get through the story, I'm going to take breaks to talk about joy in the midst of it. So here we go. Hi, I'm Julie, and I live by the motto, the best of my life is yet to be. The best moments of our lives are yet to be, no matter what age we are. It's never too late, and you are here at exactly the right time. So if this is something that fills you up with joy, even if you have a cliff you keep tumbling into, please subscribe and please stick around and hear what I have to say today. You may, I hope, relate to some of the message. I have a rare disease. It's not rare where I come from in Central California, but it's rare in the most of the world. It's called valley fever or coccidioidomycosis. I have been dealing with this disease for 6 years. And when I first got the disease, I had a near-death experience from the disease itself and also from sepsis as a result of the disease. When I was in the hospital, thankfully. So when I was in the hospital for 2 days, they were going to kick me out of the hospital because I was doing well. They thought I could go home. And literally, as I was taking my shower to leave the hospital, I was literally in the shower, so happy to take a shower, so happy to go home. And that's when my body crashed. My body said, no, you're not going home. I plummeted into many of the things that happen when you're really close to death. I had sensations that I've heard other people have. And this happened 3 times while I was hospitalized. I went from you're about to leave into the intensive care unit, rushed in and stayed there for 3 or 4 days. I can't remember exactly how long, but it felt like an eternity. Thanks to the nurses and the medical care and getting checked out for almost everything possible, I got out of the hospital eventually 13 days later. And I've been dealing with valley fever, coccidioidomycosis ever since. Sometimes it's less present in my life. And sometimes I forget that I even have it. It's kind of like this scar in my face that I have from melanoma. I'm also a melanoma survivor. And it's interesting because just the other day I was in a restaurant and someone commented on the heart-shaped scar on my face. Part of, there's a dog toy right there. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so we have the setup. I have this disease that is rare, and at least most of the world is rare. And I almost died from it, and now it has disseminated, which means instead of just being in my lungs, it has moved to other parts of my body. And right now I'm dealing with it in my hand. And so it's rough. It's rough trying to get medical care for this. And I'm house sitting and pet sitting, and I went to the doctor, the health care. I went to the doctor here where I am because there's none of the same health group where I live. I was really excited to get some help. And so this morning, after I called back to schedule a consultation, they said they declined the referral. Now, I'm trusting that I'm going to advocate my way out of that, but it looks like it's not going to be as easy as I'd hoped. How does one stay joyful with something like this? At this point, my frustration is real, and I know that in order to get to the other side of the frustration and get to the other side of my best care is I need to not be as emotional. At least that's what I do when I advocate for others. I am super fierce, but I'm not the crying, sad person. I am the direct, powerful, potent person that I can be when I am intense and when I have a purpose and when I know what I need or know what the other person needs. So I need to channel that. But in the meantime, how can I stay in a place of joy? And I have several ways that I do that. I have a very active gratitude practice, thank goodness, meaning that I focus on my gratitude several times a day, in the morning and at night, definitely. I also have a gratitude live stream on Mondays. If you didn't know that, Gratitude and Intention, you can watch a replay or show up on Monday to hang out with us. But being able to focus on gratitude. So for this instance, I can say I'm grateful for the new primary care doctor who's looking out for me. She's amazing. I'm grateful that I feel at home in the place where I'm receiving care. I'm grateful that this too will pass. Usually I hate when people say that because yes, it will pass, but sometimes it's hell getting to the other side. The cliff that keeps on cliffing. Sometimes feels like hell. The weirdest gratitude just popped in my head. It said, I'm grateful that I've had as many trying circumstances that I've had because it gets easier every time. Now, I don't know if that will make you feel optimistic to think that I wanted to say a bad word, every messy show along the way prepares you for the next one, right? Gratitude. The second is take passionate action, no matter how small. Now, passionate action to me means you're intentional, you're focused, and you're moving forward with love. Action that isn't passionate is usually reactive. It may be fractured by anger or taking things personally or not being present. I'm focusing on the past or the future instead of what's here right now. So take passionate action. I've done that. I've made the phone calls. I've talked to several people, and now I'm in the waiting game. So not fun. And we're going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep doing the things that I'm doing to help myself with this flare of coccidioidomycosis. So I'm shifting in my diet. I'm continuing to exercise. And the third one, passionate action, after that is connection. Connection is so important, especially if, like me, or many people who are older, you may live alone. As I've been going through this, I kept thinking, oh, I wish I had someone with me. This is the time when I wish I had someone with me. Now, my beloved friends here on YouTube and other online places, and my family and friends, you are the ones that I'm connecting with now. And I'm so grateful for those of you who connect with me regularly, who look in on me when they sense that I'm not feeling great. Because the hardest thing for me, quite frankly, it might be hard for you too, is actually reaching out and saying, hey, I'm having a bad day. Hey, this is frustrating me. Because so often I have a happy face. And sometimes putting on that happy face is a response to not great circumstances and being told to smile, being told to look at the bright side, the toxic positivity stuff. It is exhausting and it's inauthentic. And so I would say connect as best as you can where you are however you are. And the people who are meant to be your companions in life will be your companions of life, whether or not you disappoint them, whether or not you even make sense, whether or not you are fulfilling the expectations that they might have for you. These are how you get back into joy. Connect with people who get you in that moment. And it's hard sometimes to do that when you're not feeling good or when the cliff just keeps on cliffing. But connection with passionate action helps. Maybe your passionate action is texting one person. Maybe your passionate action is calling someone. Maybe your passionate action is making a short video. Whatever it is, congratulations, you've done it. So I get tired of telling the story of how I almost died from coccidioidomycosis. I get tired of telling the story that I have a chronic lung disease that has gone out into other parts of my body. Only 5% of people with cocci have that happen. I get tired of having to explain it to medical professionals, to people I don't know. And I feel like a burden, and I don't want to feel like a burden. There's so many other things I could say, but I think, I'm tired of telling it. So my hope for this video is that if you see yourself reflected in any of my words today, I hope that you'll feel even the slightest sense of joy from that, because you're not alone. There's other people out there who are going through stuff. There's other people out there who are willing to be vulnerable. And there's other people who want to listen to you and who will listen to you and who will follow up with you. When I say good morning, love, I'm saying good morning to you. I'm saying good morning to myself. I'm saying good morning so that you will feel connected. So, good morning, love. Thank you for watching. Because as we grow older, we may still be joyful. We may still recognize that the best is yet to be. Because when we can find joy, even in these less than thrilling, pleasant experiences, when we can connect, when we can stay present, when we can love ourselves and others well, that is how the best will continue to be, better and better. I get really tired of telling stories like that, and yet I know later on today I'll be grateful that I did it. Right now I'm not. So maybe the fourth thing to finding joy amidst hard times is to be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your loved ones who at times may not know what to do. Because the other thing I found is that most really good people just want to help, but they might not know how. So sometimes we have to teach them. And while that might be another frustration, why not shift it into a growing part of the adventure? A couple hours later, I got a phone call while I was potting a basil plant, repotting it so that I could leave it in the home as a gift. And it was to make an appointment for the consultation with the infectious disease doctor. When I got the call, I didn't say, hey, wait a second, I thought it was canceled, or I thought that I wasn't going to have an appointment. I just accepted it happily, and I made that appointment, a video call. It was going to work. When the call came, I had never done a call like that before, so I was a little bit nervous about the whole thing naturally, because first times are usually nerve-wracking, right? What came next surprised and delighted me. In a nutshell, I have never been treated so well, so earnestly and passionately, and forward-moving with a plan, a definitive plan, focused on me by a doctor since my second pregnancy. Now that second pregnancy was a big deal because it was a pregnancy after my stillbirth, and we were all really invested in the outcome. It seems so funny looking back. But the outcome, the results of that pregnancy turned into Catherine, and they're why I'm here today at the Manse. That was the outcome. Well, this doctor was so passionate about getting answers about my health, about valley fever. She pronounced coccidioidomycosis differently than I do. They don't have it as much here on the East Coast as on the West Coast. The West Coast doctors are kind of jaded. Coachy. Sure, 5% of people get disseminated valley fever. This doctor was like, do you know how many people get disseminated valley fever? This is serious, Julie. This is serious. She didn't even call me Julie. She called me by my surname, which I never used that surname, so. Anyway, the moral of the story is, if there was a moral to a story, is that right there was patience, there was passionate action, moving forward with love, there was intention, and by the time I got off the phone, there was great joy. Later on in the afternoon, when I was driving back to New Jersey, I was talking to a friend of mine who has a lot of health issues, and I was explaining how it felt to be treated with so much care and just so much earnestness. And I was finally able to realize how much joy there was in being seen, heard, and cared about. What a difference 24 hours make. We never know when we're going to come to that turning point. And I think about how I could have gotten combative earlier. I could have gotten really upset. And I got upset with all y'all in a safe space. I kept it close. I held myself close. I stayed present. So now we have a whole plan of action. Naturally, some of it I really don't want to experience, but it'll be good. It'll be good. I would love to know if this made you feel better. I would love to know if you have any similar stories, especially I wonder if there's stories that you just don't want to tell anymore. You're sick and tired of them. And yet, when you do tell them fully, fact by fact by fact, you may be so satisfied in the end, even if it takes a while to get to that place of satisfaction. Hopefully, you won't get stuck in a space of discouragement. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out here with me. And I'm so excited to continue our adventure together. Whether you are sitting next to me on the porch, or in the passenger seat, or on the sofa as we chat over our day. Thanks so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And yes, we're going to go back to more house sitting content. And more traveling content and more fun stuff. So I think this is fun. Or I can tell myself that. I can choose to see it that way. Okay, I'm going to stop now. See you